Representative Don Beyers, who represents the 8th District of Virginia, ranking member of the House Economic Committee, Joint Economic Committee, running the House hearings on AI and fusion. That's got to be interesting stuff.
It is fun stuff,
That's got to be real interesting.
Very forward-looking.
Beyer, BEYER.house.gov is the website,
Yep.
and Rep. Don Beyer, of course, on Twitter or whatever they call it these days. Congressman, it is such an honor and pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Tom. It's great to be with you. And I love the whole free speech commitment that you have.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So tell us about, first off, I'm just curious your take on what's going on here. You know, how this.
Oh, my God.
You know, I'm guessing this isn't your first rodeo.
No, this is my fifth national convention, lots of state ones, and I've never seen the energy of the excitement that we have here.
Yeah.
And the speeches the last couple of nights, they were late on Monday night, but first Doug Emhoff, and then Michelle, and then Barack Obama last night. It was hard to go to sleep. We were so excited.
Oh, welcome to the club. I mean, it was just extraordinary, and the energy was palpable. I mean, literally palpable. The air was like like those big bass speakers sometimes at a rock concert. You know, you can feel it in your body. You could just feel.
You know, in the Congress, in the House, we have speakers all the time, and even the State of the Union. And you stand up and you sit down, and you stand up and you sit down. Last night, you just stood up the whole time.
Yeah,
there's no use sitting down.
I get it. I totally get it. I'm curious what, is at the top of your agenda. What are the things that you're excited about that you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers? The things that you're working on, the concerns you have, your concerns or your optimism, the things that you're hopeful about?
Tom, there are many things I'm optimistic about, but let me go to the thing that concerns me most, which is the division in our country. That we have these two huge groups that seem to be listening to different facts and different histories and different stories. We've had president after president, with the glaring exception of Donald Trump, who hoped to unite us. George Bush talked about compassionate conservatism. Barack Obama was post-partisan America. Joe Biden and the healing the soul of America. And I'm really hoping that we're ready to do that, and that Kamala and Tim, with their unique skills and unique backgrounds, can heal us and can begin to take those people who are so disaffected they have to turn to somebody like Donald Trump and bring them back to an America that we all love.
I think, you're working on IT issues, and it seems to me that one of the real challenges that we're facing right now is a social media landscape, an online landscape. I mean, this is obviously we've got some problems with traditional media as well, and things like Fox so-called news, but just this proliferation of, now Donald Trump is putting out pictures of Taylor Swift saying that she's endorsed him. I mean, it's just how do we deal with, there's this dynamic tension between the First Amendment and honesty and truth in advertising, as it were. And, other countries seem to be dealing with this a whole lot better than we are, although maybe I'm, looking at that through
Europe's been a lot more aggressive than we have on it.
Yeah.
I was really thrilled that in speech after speech the last two nights, people talked about honesty, decency, and dignity.
Yeah.
And I think most people have a sort of a natural bull detector. They look at Taylor Swift endorsing Donald Trump and say, that can't be true.
Right.
But what we need is ever more voices. That my dad used to say the answer to poor speech is more speech. And so we need to keep moving forward on that.
Yeah, I said IT, I meant AI. But yeah.
The same idea.
So where do we go with AI?
Well, I think what we're trying to do right now in the Congress, the big AI task force, is to try to identify the downsides, like job elimination, child sexual assault material, deep fakes, and political advertising, and address them specifically without trying to dampen down the entire industry, because AI is already making such a difference in our health care, in how our supply chains, and just solving scientific and technological problems that we've never been able to do before. We're likely to have much better, longer, fuller lives because of AI, as long as we can deal with the downsides.
If the New York Times was to publish a child porn picture or, an open Nazi propaganda piece, they could be sued. They could be frankly, whoever made the decision could be imprisoned. But because of Section 230, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, they have absolutely no responsibility for what's going on their platform. I get it that back in the day we wanted to encourage the growth of the internet, But do you think it's time to revisit Section 230?
I heartily do, Tom. I
Decency
think 230 was like the only thing we did with social media, and it was completely the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know, that if you're going to give people the freedom to say a lot of different things, you also need to have the freedom to sue them when it has a negative effect, a harmful effect.
Exactly.
And so it's 230 and making sure we don't repeat 230 with AI.
Yeah, for sure. But do you see those kinds of changes coming?
Yeah, I hope so. We're close. I mean, there's been bipartisan agreements a number of times. It a big bipartisan agreement on privacy protection that broke down at the last minute, but we have to keep trying.
Yeah, I congratulate you. I wish you well on it. I know it's going to be a big project. Where Congressman Don Beyers here. By the way, we for 11 years, Bernie came on this program every Friday and for an hour took calls from listeners. And now Congressman Ro Khanna and Congressman Pocan do take alternating weeks. But if you ever want to come on for an hour
love to, Tom.
and take calls from listeners, I mean, literally all over the country, you're more than welcome. Love to have
We
you.
will follow up on you, Tom.
Thank you so much, Congressman.
Thanks so much.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Tom.
We'll be right back.